National Report says Maine has earned a top ranking among coastal states and Puerto Rico when it comes to policies that protect our beaches and the ocean.
But those high marks don't take into account recent severe storms that wrecked Maine's coastline. As part of our ongoing series on Maine's changing climate, Chris Costa talks with the experts about how Maine can prepare for events like these in the future.
Beaches and oceans are some of Maine's treasures, ones the state intends to protect.
Maine has an 11 out of 12, which is almost as good as you can get.
Each year, the nonprofit, the Surfrider Foundation, evaluates 30 coastal states, looking at the laws in place to fight climate change and how those states act on them.
Maine has really effective policies in place in terms of how the state is responding to climate change and coastal erosion.
Including planning for 1.5 feet of sea level rise by the year 2050 and preventing construction of new seawalls, man-made objects that hurt this ecosystem.
They actually block the natural flow of sand to the beach and cause more erosion.
A problem Mainers on the coast are all too familiar with.
Oh, that's his toys!
To predict the impact of the next storm, Maine's Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry is using FEMA flood insurance maps.
Those maps, are put out to inform people about the risk associated with having flood insurance, but they're used for a lot more than that. They're one of the best tools that we have out there right now to look at existing vulnerability.
Peter Slavinsky with the Maine Geological Survey says coastal towns will have to decide whether to rebuild or retreat. He understands that towns with working waterfronts may only have one choice.
That infrastructure has to be along the water, but that infrastructure also has to be, made resilient to the conditions that we currently see and will potentially be seeing in the future.
Which is why the Maine Department of Transportation is developing a dynamic flood model for the whole state.
You can answer the question of, okay, in 2050, after X amount of sea level rise, what's the % chance that this section of coastline is going to get wet?
This situation isn't simply a situation where we could just build back higher or stronger. These recent storms really bring to light that the effects of climate change are happening really fast.
Surfrider proposes nature-based solutions to fight coastal erosion and sea level rise, fighting nature with nature.
Even if it's just in one small stretch of area, it really is going to be the solution towards moving forward for fighting climate change.
Chris Costa, News Center, Maine.
And obviously all of those proposals come with a cost, but there is help. Surfrider has a $6 billion nationwide for coastal resilience projects that Maine can apply for. We will have links to those with this story on our website.
So what can you do? Surfrider has a Beach Guardians program. You can just go to maine.surfrider.org to pick the beach you want to protect, and you can help with monitoring habitats, collecting data, or documenting extreme weather.